Welcome, listeners. You're speaking to Mweki Sitatu, a Will student at the PsyCaD Centers for Psychological Services and Career Development here at UG. And today we will be interviewing a very interesting man, Mr. Sambil Mukwakungu, a lecturer at the University of Johannesburg, lecturing operations management. Mr. Sambil, please tell us a little bit about yourself and about your qualification, operations management.
Hi, my name is Sambil Mukwakungu. I'm a lecturer of operations management at the University of Johannesburg. I am actually a lecturer at the Faculty of Engineering at the Built Environment. I've been lecturing operations management for the past 5 years now. And in terms of my qualifications, I hold a BTech in operations management, and I am currently completing my master's in operations management. And that's it. I actually lecture first-year students on the Doornfontein campus, and I also lecture third-year students on both Bunting Road campus and the Soweto campus.
Very interesting, and seems like a very experienced man. Can you please tell us a little bit of the interesting and challenging aspects of your job, Mr. Sambil?
Regarding my job, lecturing first-year students is quite interesting and challenging at the same time, because you have these students coming fresh from matric and they encounter the university life for the first time. So you kind of have to hold their hands and make sure that they understand the subject content. Sometimes it's a bit challenging because they're very slow in understanding what needs to be covered. Usually they catch on very fast because on the, let's say, second month at the university, they start understanding why they're here. Another aspect that is quite interesting and challenging would be shifting between first-year students and third-year students, because the way you lecture your first years and your senior students is quite different. So you need to alternate the teaching style.
Okay, yeah, that's actually normal, because a lot of matrics don't gel easily to varsity life. So, in your own ways, can you please tell us what operations management qualification is all about to someone who doesn't know anything about this?
Operations management deals with the design and management of products, processes, services, and supply chains. It considers the acquisition, development, and utilization of resources that firms need to deliver to in order to obtain goods and services that their clients want. The provision of operations management ranges from strategic to tactical operational levels. I'm going to be a bit specific here. On a strategic level, it will include determining the size and location of manufacturing plant, location of facilities, deciding the structure of service or telecommunications network. On a tactical level, it will include plant layout. How are you going to design the layout of a plant? Equipment selection, project management method. On an operational level, it includes production scheduling and control, inventory management, quality control and inspections, traffic and materials handling, and equipment maintenance policies. So it's quite broad, but we try to make it a bit specific for the student to understand, because, as you know, it's on the first year level, and many of the things that I've mentioned, to them it's a bit new and more advanced. So we try to give more examples and be a bit practical about it.
Yep, it looks like operations management is one important aspect of an organization, because obviously all the managers need a productivity on the level. So what are the popular institutions that offer these qualifications beside the University of Johannesburg that maybe you are aware of?
That's kind of free publicity. Anyway, we have UNISA, we have University of Cape Town, UCT, we have Cape Peninsula University of Technology in Cape Town. We also have Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, Durban University of Technology, Tshwane University of Technology. The list goes on,
Okay, so it is safe to say that operations management is really one of the highly recognized qualifications.
is very much in demand. I'm actually working closely with some colleagues at UNISA, and on the first year level, you will not believe they have close to 2,000 students compared to UJ, where we only have 300 students. So you can understand that the level of demand for this course is quite high.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one other thing I would like to know: what are the required subjects from high school? For one to study this qualification, as you know, maybe for an example, I'll make an example with medicine. For someone to study medicine, they will be required to get higher marks on maths and science. So for someone to excel in operations management, what basic subjects do you need from high school?
It's not very complicated. You need your mathematics, or math literacy, and you also need English as a first language in order to succeed in this particular course.
That's fair enough. From my personal point of view, I've realized that sometimes the subjects that you are taught at school are not all that you need. So what are the important skills, attributes that one needs in order to succeed in to be a very good and competent operations manager?
Okay, first of all, to be a successful operations manager, there is a blend of skills that one needs to have, which actually builds up with time and experience. But what I can mention would be active listening. Why active listening? Is because you need to give full attention to what other people are saying, because an operations manager works with everybody within the organization, so you must be able to listen to what people say. Another type of skills would be time management. You must be able to manage your time and the time of others. Reading comprehension skills, very important. You must be able to understand written sentences and paragraphs in work-related documents. You must have persuasion skills. This is very important because you'll be a manager. So obviously you'll have to persuade people in doing things that maybe from the beginning they might not agree on. You must really have critical thinking skills, writing skills, oral expression, oral comprehension, problem sensitivity, problem solving. The list goes on, but the most important is analytical skills. Those are very, very important skills.
I heard you mentioned a lot of few things. So we can safely say we need a good communicator.
Yes, you need a good communicator, a good people's person.
Okay. Looking at South Africa in general, in the working class, there's not many jobs. Although we are encouraging young people to get a qualification, what other career opportunities can one venture into after completing the course? Sometimes you may get that you are stuck after having this qualification. So what other opportunities beside the ones described?
What I usually advise my student on the first year level is don't just go for the qualification, the paper at the end of the year, and it will qualify you to get a job, because I'm sure many of them out there usually check jobs at availability, and it usually comes with experience. Many students, when they finish with operations management, they think that all of a sudden they'll become managers and manage operations, which is usually not true. There are opportunities out there. Most of the time, it has to do with operations managers. Don't get me wrong, the title of the job is pretty simple: operations manager. That's the top one if you're doing operations management. Beside that, you have buyers, supply chain managers, you have project managers, you have schedulers, you have facility managers. So you kind of have a wide spectrum of jobs available, but it usually has to be coupled with experience. Hence, I tell my student in the first year level to usually go out there and grab any type of job, weekend jobs, holiday jobs that will just build up the experience, so that when they're done with the qualification, they can go out there and get a proper job.
I've seen in the past that actually this is very important, that you shouldn't focus your career, or shouldn't focus limit yourself to one career path. If moving on, Mr. Sambil, you're aware of this, that people will have a different perception about a certain topic in an environment. Like, for example, here at the University of Johannesburg, PsyCaD, a lot of students have a different perception of PsyCaD as a center for people who are emotionally abused or who are emotionally down. Whereas PsyCaD is not only for therapeutic services, but it entails a lot of different things. That is why the name is Center for Psychological Services and Career Development. What are the misconceptions that people have about operations management? Maybe someone is mistaking it for something else.
There's quite a lot of misconceptions out there. First of all, students tend to think that operations management is equivalent to production management, whereby you'll be working in a factory, a plant where they manufacture goods. Another misconception is that some students, those that are really, really clueless, who have not done the research properly, they think it has to do with working in a hospital and doing surgery. Other students, they just have no idea what's going on. But the biggest misconception is that people tend to associate it with a career that restricts people to working into a manufacturing environment in plant, whereby they'll be working a lot with machinery and things like that. I must clear this up. It's not really true. Operations management applies to all type of companies, any industry, whether it's a bank, whether it's an airline, whether it's a mine, whether it's a university. We have operations managers for the simple reason that it has to do with the production of goods and services. So any company that provides services or that manufacture goods, you're definitely going to get a job there.
That's very broad. One of my listeners may be listening right now and maybe have questions about this. What advice can you give to someone who's interested in studying this, in studying your career field, in studying operations management? Maybe they are wondering, how will I make it? Am I good enough? What advice or what do you think is there? Maybe a secret for someone who wants to study operations management?
Indeed, there is a secret, and the secret is read. Students tend to forget that they have to read. What are you going to read? Read everything. Read your subject content, your textbooks, your notes. Go out there, do research. Read about the subject that you registered for. Do research on Google. Ask Google what is the subject that you registered for. Prepare for your classes. Do also research on how you can penetrate the job market with an operations management qualification. That's all I can say. It's about reading. If you don't read, obviously in school you won't make it. If you don't read, obviously you won't find the proper jobs because everything is written.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sambil. Readers, as you can as well hear, everything's about research. You need to research, you need to read more content, you need to read the material you are receiving. Right now, Mr. Sambil, in closing, I would like to maybe pose a few questions. I know you've said earlier that you don't want to offer free publicity, but I would like to know just an advice. Which maybe companies are they employing operations management graduates, and what do you think is the salary entry level, for someone who's studying, just maybe having a diploma or a degree in operations management? How much do they expect to receive maybe in the first year or the first 5 years? Which companies and the salary entry level maybe?
I will not really be able to give you a particular company for a simple fact that they might have sent me an email last year looking for students, but this year they haven't. But all I know is that an industry such as telecommunication, banking industry, retail, by retail I refer to your supermarkets, your Pick and Pays, your Checkers, mines as well. They're hiring operations graduate. But one thing that the student must understand is they might be willing, they might have to relocate because some of those companies have the operations house outside Gauteng. And entry level, that's quite an interesting question that students usually ask me. first couple of weeks when we start our classes. I'm not gonna lie to you. Entry level for operations management, when you have your qualification and you don't have experience, they might offer you in the range of 8,000 to 12,000 rand. But provided that you have experience, and again, I must say this experience is any job experience that you have, as long as it's 2 years, then your salary might start from 15,000 upward.
Oh wow! So what I'm saying now is that for students who need to, or for someone who needs to make a really quick buck, they need to study operations management.
A really quick buck, I can't say, but the issue is the experience. Remember, as you know, and I'm sure in your division you've met so many students like that. Students don't tend to look for job while studying. They seem to relax a bit while studying, and then when they're done, they go out there looking for jobs. And then when they go out there and they will ask them for experience, they won't have any. So they might offer them the 8,000, and you see they're looking for the great life, the bling life, and they might not go for those jobs, and they might remain jobless for a while.
Well, Mr. Sambil, thank you. My name is Moeketsi, Center for Psychological Services and Career Development. Thank you, and thank you for your time.